Hi everyone, this is Joy. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be part of Whimsy Stamp's annual 31 Nights of Halloween blog celebration. I have made a really awesome Halloween card, and everything that I've used is listed and linked below in the description and also on my blog. Now I'm starting with the Build a Graveyard die set from Whimsy Stamps, and I've die cut the tombstones from pale gray cardstock. Now this wonderful stamp set here is the Grave Epitaphs that we're going to be using to decorate these tombstones. I have die cut a ton of tombstones. I'm not going to be using them all for this card, but I can definitely put them aside and save them for a project later. Now I'm stamping on the sentiments, and I'm using sea salt ink for all of the sentiments on these tombstones. And when I'm placing down these little images, I will be using Earl Grey ink on those. I like the contrast between the two grays. I didn't want to go with a dark black. I felt like that would be a little too much for my taste, but you definitely could go that route and it would look great. One of my favorite things about this stamp set is it has little cracks that you stamp onto your tombstone, which I'm laying out here. I think that is so much fun, and that is one of my favorite parts about it, and I feel so silly over it, but I just love them. I just think it makes these tombstones have so much character. I'm inking that up with sea salt ink, and as you can see there, doesn't that look great? Now, there's tons of sayings in this stamp set. There is buried alive, DKN, which is the two things that are on here. You have a list of born and then all the times that that person died. Vacancy, move-in ready, hardwood floors, quiet neighbors, Upton, oh good, fester and rot, here lies your youth, a couple of RIPs. There's some fun images. There is a couple skulls, a crossbone, a couple bats, some floral images. So there's tons of things to decorate all of these wonderful tombstones. Now there are 3 sizes. There's 2 shapes and 3 sizes in each shape, which I really love. So you have tons of different types of tombstones. So the combinations are, you have multiple combinations that you can come up with. I'm just placing them down into my MISTI. I have a little bit of adhesive behind them that holds them in place while I am stamping. I'm just laying out all of my sentiments, stamp those, then I come back in with my images and stamp those. Again, I'm using sea salt and Earl Grey inks, a lighter and darker gray ink. Now, something I want to mention to you guys is that Whimsy will be giving away $300 in prizes, which is really awesome. There's going to be one grand prize of a $100 gift certificate, and to win that, you must create and link up a Whimsy Halloween project. And then every week, drawn on Wednesday, the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th, there will be 2 $25 gift certificates given away, and those will be awarded to the random customers who placed an order in the Whimsy store the previous week. So lots of great prizes giving away during this fun Halloween blog celebration. Now I'm going to finish up here with these little guys, stamping up an RIP and Upton, oh good. I just think those are so awesome. Coming in with some fun images. Again, I'm going to be stamping those images in Earl Grey ink. I stamped the words with sea salt ink, and also the cracks I do with sea salt ink. When I'm done with these, I want to age these and kind of grunge them up because, you know, they've been sitting in a cemetery for who knows how long. And so I'm taking some of that sea salt ink and just using my blender brush, and I'm not doing all of the edges. I'm just picking some spots and just adding this ink to it. You may not be able to really tell on the video, but it does really kind of grunge it up and make it dirty. You could go with a slightly darker ink and that would work just as well. Now that that's done, I'm also going to grunge up these frames that go with the 2 largest tombstones. And I love the look of it because it kind of gives it that 3D stone look, which is really fantastic. And once I'm done with that, we are going to adhere this card base. Now this patterned paper is so cool, and it's from the Whimsy Stamps Haunted 6x6 paper pack. I did trim it down to 5.5 by 5.5 and adhered that to a pale gray card base. Here I'm taking some liquid glue and gluing on those frames to those two larger tombstones, and look at how awesome those turned out. Now I'm just going to lay everything out onto my card panel. I like to lay things out first, kind of get an idea of what I want where. Then I'm going to add some adhesive behind this and glue these two directly to the card base. And the rest of the tombstones will be having some foam tape behind them because I do want them to have dimension. I want this whole card to be full of dimension to where it looks like you are walking through the tombstones, or excuse me, through the graveyard. As I'm tucking these in and around, I'm really taking care to not cover up all of the words. I still want the card recipient to be able to read what is on each of these tombstones. Once I'm done adhering these, I will trim off all of the excess, and then I'm going to add one more little tombstone to the front. But again, adding foam tape behind all of these, kind of gluing them down wonky and crooked, because we want to be able to see all of the tombstones. Now that that's done, I'm going to trim off all of that excess. Oh, sorry, excuse me. We're going to glue in these awesome fences. These fences are part of the Build a Graveyard die set. I have die cut those out of black sparkle cardstock from Cardstock Warehouse. There's also 2 cats, some bats, some skulls in that same Build a Graveyard die set, which is really awesome. I added just a little bit of liquid glue to the bottom of those fences. I don't want the tops glued down because I like the look of the 3D that it gives. I'm going to glue on this one last tombstone, again with some foam tape. And I want to have a little kitty cat glued on top of this awesome little black cat. And I'll be using some liquid glue on his feet and some foam tape behind him and behind his eyes so I can stick his little colored eyeballs back in, if that makes sense. Once that's done, I'm going to take a black glaze pen and color his eyes and let that dry, and then I will come back in with a white gel pen to add more detail to his eyes. So here's the black glaze pen coloring those eyes in, and it definitely makes them pop from the body. Now this stamp set is the Going Catty stamp set, and I'm using some sentiments from this, and it's going to say "Have a Haunting Halloween." And I'm going to stamp that onto some pale gray cardstock, the same cardstock that I used for the tombstones. And I'll be using Candy Corn ink from Tailored Expressions, which is an orange ink. And I thought this would give this card a great little pop of color, just adding one more color source in here. And I love how it turned out. I will trim down each one of those sentiments to a smaller size. And I will just adhere those directly to the card base, in and around the moon, kind of tucking them into the bats. And I've also die cut bats from that Build a Graveyard die set in the black sparkle cardstock. And I'm going to pop those up with some foam tape. And I had to cut tiny pieces of foam tape to fit, but I popped those up around the sentiment, and I love the dimension that it gives. Between that and having all the bats that are on this patterned paper behind it, it just turned out so awesome. I love the look of this card. I think it is so fantastic. These dies and stamps and this patterned paper really makes for a wonderful Halloween card. Adding those white dots for the eyes to finish that off, and then look at how great this card turned out. All that dimension, this fun Halloween card. I just want to thank you guys so very much for watching, and I hope that you are enjoying this annual 31 Nights of Halloween blog celebration. I will be back next Friday with another video for this blog celebration, so I hope to see you guys there. Bye.